There are two different forms of reality. One of those is overly conceptualized. I would call this radical idealism. You have an idea in your head of what the world should look like. You might be morally correct, but it's more focused on what makes you feel better emotionally versus on affecting real world change. Because you don't like incremental change, you know what's right, so you don't even want to deal with the complicated politics of it all. And the other form of reality is what's happening in the real material world. The Green Party and Jill Stein, they don't do anything to impact the actual material world. I agree with pushing the Democratic Party in a better direction through coalitions within and outside of the party, through things like Justice Democrats, labor unions, third parties like the Working Families Party, which does things right, and also the Uncommitted Movement. These are examples of groups that are actually trying to get real things done in the real world, because we understand, although we don't love our governmental system in the US, not liking our current system of government does not make you better than anyone. And it doesn't give you a free pass or an excuse to sit on the sidelines. Politics is complicated, politics is messy. Political movements and any type of social justice or anything is achieved through millions of people pushing in the same direction, countless hours, countless people who have lost their lives in the name of pushing for progress. And the idea in 2024 that so many people want to be on the sidelines and be morally righteous and just say, I have all the right opinions and no one's going to follow it, so we might as well burn everything to the ground. That is a mentality that has zero room in any political movement. There are far too many people dedicating their entire lives to trying to make things better. Being in a governmental system that you don't love is a core feature of participating in democracy. And I understand if you don't like that. It sucks. It really does suck. But we need to care about what happens in the real world. Like AOC says in this clip, your moral responsibility is being effective in creating real change, doing real things to affect real people. The Green Party, unlike the Working Families Party, unlike the Uncommitted Movement, unlike Justice Democrats, is not trying to truly affect political change. They are trying to get people mad at the political process to the point where they make a protest vote. Really thinking about the thought process where you say you care about Palestinians, and then you say, these are basically your two positions. On one hand, this is a moral abomination that needs to end right now. We need a ceasefire. We need an arms embargo. We need to be the USA as a leader and stop what's happening. That's your one opinion. And then if your other opinion, you have two of them, if your other opinion is, well, if we can't completely end the conflict right now, we should just give up and let the world burn. If you shuffle between those two positions, either we need to fix the world right now or the entire world should burn, you need to check yourself in your own moral system, because you are not really caring or being concerned about the plight of struggling populations across the world. If organizers had your mentality throughout history, our country and the world would be in a far worse place today than it is. 95% of Jill Stein's social media posts and her speeches are against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Abandon Joe Biden, abandon Kamala. Barely ever speaking out about Donald Trump unless if you are both siding it. So Jill Stein might post, both Donald Trump and Kamala are threats to democracy. She might say that, but they're really just trying to get votes away from Kamala Harris. I'm gonna play the video from AOC now, and I never do this, but if you like this commentary and want to support my channel, I'm currently not monetized. Please consider supporting on Patreon in the link down below. It really helps. I put a lot of hours into these videos. And like I said, I can't get paid from YouTube yet. I'm halfway there to the hours I need. But yeah, thank you for all the support.
What I have a problem with is the fact that if you are running for president, you are the de facto leader of your party. And first of all, trust me on this. I run as a third-party candidate in New York. I'm also run as a Working Families Party candidate in addition to running as a Democrat. Because trust me, I've been on record that about my criticisms of a two-party system. So this is not about that. But you are the leader of your party. And if you run for years and years and years and years and years in a row, and your party has not grown, and you don't add city council seats, and you don't add down ballot candidates, and you don't add state electeds, that's bad leadership. And that to me is what's upsetting. Because if you have been your party's nominee for 12 years in a row, 4 years ago and 4 years before that and 4 years before that, and you cannot grow your movement pretty much at all and can't pursue any successful strategy, and all you do is show up once every 4 years to speak to people who are
To be fair, Jill Stein was not the candidate in 2020, but it does make sense what she's saying. The Green Party was never about building real political power to move things. A lot of it is a big vanity project for those who participate. And AOC mentioned the Working Families Party here that I brought up as well. That's a third party that has been effective, that has put real effort into city council seats in places like Philly and New York.
Are justifiably pissed off, but you're just showing up once every 4 years to do that. You're not serious. You're not to me, it does not read as authentic. It reads as predatory. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it. Because as a person, I endorse Working Families Party candidates. I endorse DSA candidates. I take risks, and I endorse even in primaries against Democrats when it's merited. What does this person do to grow power?
Yeah, that's the main clip that I could find with the meat of what AOC said. But it's pretty much the same thing I reiterated. I gave my frustrated viewpoint of it because I see a lot of this attitude, especially with and by the way, I want to make sure I disconnect the aspect of those who are truly affected by a crisis. I would not expect them to support the Democratic Party if they are directly affected by something Democrats signed off on. But that being said, many individuals I've met who said they are not voting, or they are not voting third party, or they're not voting, they're not voting against Donald Trump, they're voting for Green Party. Many of these individuals are from very privileged backgrounds. And there are so many individuals who wish they were privileged enough so they can not care. So they can just say, like, I'm not voting this time. If Trump wins, whatever. People wish they were that privileged. But that's the main point. Anyways, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. Consider supporting on Patreon, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down below in the comments as well.